Every year, hundreds of D&D parties will adopt a goblin. Each adventurer will have their own reasons for why. Maybe they think it's cute or funny, or just want to tip the action economy in their favor. But what they don't realize is that adopting a goblin isn't just something you do on a whim. It's a commitment, and one that often ends in death, trauma, or story-related despair for your new companion. Hi, my name is Quilius, former adventuring bard and now founder, CEO, and everything else for GREEN, the Goblin Reform, Education, and Empathy Network. I too once adopted a goblin, and now I share what I've learned about their care, survival, and yes, emotional needs with others looking to take in one of their own. In this video, I'll go through all the essential information you'll need to better understand and maybe even love your new best friend. Let's get started. One of the biggest mistakes that most parties who are adopting a goblin make happens right in the beginning. Contrary to popular belief, slaughtering your new friend's entire clan and forcing them to tag along by threat of death is not a preferred method of goblin adoption. It may be hard to believe, but killing everyone they know and love in front of them can lead to trauma later in life. If you're planning to bring a goblin onto the team, consider some alternate methods of adoption, like negotiating a fair contract for their services, taking in an exile who's no longer allowed to be with their kin, or finding an outsider who never fit in with their horde. Or you can just wait for another party to come along and take them out. It's bound to happen eventually, and at least they won't hate you for it. Probably. That being said, we understand some of you might have already murdered their entire clan and taken the sole survivor. We get it, it happens. If that's the case, you may want to monitor your new friend for signs of SAD, slaughter aftermath disorder. Signs your goblin may be suffering from SAD include hoarding of food or wealth, high-pitched screeching at random intervals, and threats to kill the party while you all sleep. Of course, these are also normal goblin behaviors, so it's best to see a specialist as soon as possible. You can never be too safe. One of the appealing things about bringing a goblin onto the team is that many view food costs as non-existent. Due to their ravenous appetite and general ability to consume anything, and I mean anything, I've seen it, parties will often feed their goblin whatever's lying around. Monster parts, week old stew, lightly seasoned leather, even Arby's if you can believe it. In truth, goblins in the wild enjoy a vast array of different foods, often snacking on foraged berries, vegetables, and honey as much as human limbs. So for the best results, your goblin will need a balanced diet. Plenty of leafy greens, some carbs and fiber, even the occasional sugar, maybe for a birthday. And many cities even sell goblin-specific meals and treats that they will adore. Just find a local pet store and purchase anything you see. They'll thank you for it. Of course, not everyone is saving that goblin just because they're cute. You want to put them to work. And the good news is, goblins have a lot of energy they need to burn off. The classic way for them to get their daily dose of exercise is, of course, combat. A well-fed, well-loved goblin will absolutely tear out an orc's hamstring with its bare teeth for a party that goes that extra mile. Though we would caution against giving your goblin any kind of swords, bows, or other weaponry for several weeks after adoption, just in case any signs of SAD show up. We want that dagger plunged into your enemies, not you. We also strongly recommend providing your goblin with a large supply of health potions. 4 out of 5 party goblins will die from combat-related injuries, and 4 out of 5 party clerics aren't willing to use even a first-level spell slot to pick them back up. So giving your goblin the ability to heal themselves doesn't just ensure they'll be way more helpful in a fight, but it teaches them responsibility. You want to live? Then you better shape up, bud. But you won't always be fighting bandits or slaying monsters, so you'll need alternative ways for your goblin to let off some steam. Some personal favorites of mine are fetch, using any bone or body part you have on hand. They won't bring it back to you, but they'll also fall for the fake toss every time, so they'll still get plenty of running in. Another game me and Barney, that was my party's goblin, used to play all the time was Angry Mob. I'd start shouting, "Goblin, there's a goblin, it's eating people!" And then he'd have to run from the horde of crazed villagers that would come chasing him. I mean, they did catch him that one time, but Barney too was way better at it. Despite most dungeon masters role-playing them as violent, clumsy idiots, the average goblin has an intelligence score of 10, which puts them on par with your average commoner. It is absolutely vital that your goblin is given a proper education, so that one day, when the adventure is ended and the party are all world leaders or tavern owners, they can be a productive member of society. If your party has a wizard, well, great, you're good to go. They can just study under them. But if not, you will need to either find a scholar to travel with the party or pay for remote learning sessions held via the sending spell. Tuition costs aren't cheap. I've heard of more than one party who needed to slay a dragon just to send their goblin to Bard College. But the reward will be worth it when little Barney 2 can work as a scribe or a banker once the story is all said and done. And even if you can't afford to get them the schooling they need, that's alright. they can always become a politician. You don't need a brain for that. Speaking of retirement, while the average lifespan of a goblin in the wild is only 2 years, that's because they live incredibly deadly lifestyles. When traveling with a party, that life expectancy jumps up by a whopping 6 months. Again, lots of hazards out there, but if they can survive to the end of the campaign, that goblin might live for upwards of 60, 70 years. That's a long time, so you should have plans in place to help your goblin just in case they make it to old age. Most retirement homes don't accept goblins. Shocking, I know. And unfortunately, you can't just drop them off at the local tavern and hope someone else takes them. Trust me, I tried. So instead, consider purchasing them a small keep with the vast amount of gold you've accumulated over your questing career. I know you have more important matters like buying another ship or paying off the 3 devils who each own part of your soul. But a goblin who's taken care of is a goblin who takes care of you. Still waiting for that with Barney too, but I'm sure he's working on it. Last but not least, while your goblin will love the engaging, funny, and intellectual conversations I'm sure you and your fellow party members have all the time, a part of them will always long to be among other goblins, a member of the horde, looting and pillaging their way across the countryside. It is vitally important that you never, ever actually let them go back. If you see a clan of goblins, you need to destroy them, and your little lackey has to watch. You think Barney 2's hands weren't soaked in the blood of his kin? It's the only way they're going to stick around. They cannot remember how much happier they were before you took them. They just can't. And look, it's better this way. I gave that little guy all the hamsters he could ever want, okay? What does he have to complain about? And he's a senator now. He'll be fine. So, yeah, keep them far away from other goblins. You've been warned. I hope that having watched this video, you feel better informed and better prepared to go give your goblin its best life. They may be vile, horrible creatures who would strangle you for the single coin in your pocket, but how can you say no to those eyes, huh? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, subscribing, or commenting with your own tips for goblin care. I'd love to hear what sane, rational ideas you have too. That's it for me, so as we like to say in green, quit your players.